All right. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another Bucks on Deck episode. I'm Anthony Murphy, and as always, with me, my co-host Nola Jeffy. Nola, what's going on, man? How's it going?
Not too bad. Long weekend. I'm a little tired, but pushing through.
Yeah. Anything exciting happening over the weekend for you?
Played in a Houston hockey tournament, made it to the chip, and lost 5-3. So
Okay.
it was unfortunate.
Anything exciting happening during that game?
Oh yeah, there's a brawl at the end.
Let's go.
Yeah, guy. The guy was going a little extra hard on the other team with no time left. Put one of our guys into the boards for no reason, and then just woof.
Let's go.
I kind of glided over there, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Too bad. It'd fun to see a good old fashioned goalie fight there.
For a second, I saw him gliding out on the other end, and I was like, I gotta drive back on Monday and go to work on Tuesday. I'm good. It's beer league. I don't need any fisticuffs in beer league.
You made a business decision there.
Pretty much, yeah. For some reason there's guys still in beer league that think they're gonna make the show, that there's scouts in the stands or something. And it's like, no, you're just gonna wake up the next morning in pain and go to your day job like the rest of us.
Yeah. That's cool. So I did a cookout today, and I was left alone to assemble the new grill, which was fun. Mm-hmm. It didn't get 100% assembled because I got sick of doing it. I got it enough to where it wasn't tipping over barely, and we kind of just planted it into the ground. So I guess we just needed something cheap because we went out there and it was easier to do that than just buy or than try to drag ours out there. But you definitely get what you pay for with grills. And we didn't pay much for it, so yeah, we got the full experience of the it not being very good. We left early. It wouldn't surprise me if we went back there and it was just still sitting there because I don't think anyone was. No one was volunteering to take it with them.
Yeah.
So I guess the park just got a free grill. So
someone will find it handy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
One of those instances like a printer where it's easier just to buy a new printer than new ink.
Basically. It also gave me a little bit of time to scout the new grill that I'm looking at getting. So came out ahead there.
I gotta start looking those up.
Yeah. We're working with the gas grill, and I've always just done charcoal for the majority of my life. So I want to go back to charcoal grill. So I'm looking forward to that. Saw a really nice one on there. So
speaking of hot this week.
Yeah, speaking of hot, what do you know? The Pirates can actually hit. And better yet, the Pirates minor leaguers are starting to hit.
Yeah.
So, and especially maybe get some reinforcements. AAA is really, really hot. Granted, one of those innings, they put up a 10 spot and it was a hitter pitching the entire time. But hey,
Yeah, but that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, what was it? Has it been that long ago?
Yeah, because I gotta be honest, I wasn't paying as attention as intently this past week, because I was a little consumed with hockey. But that 10 spot was against the Mud Hens, so that was a couple series ago.
That is true. Wow, time flies. Just in general, it seems like the offense, things are really clicking in Indy right now. Matt Gorski hitting really well. Henry Davis hitting really well. So I know you said you haven't watched much over the weekend and all that, but from what you've seen, who do you feel like maybe hitting wide? Maybe we could do a little bit of a rundown of the entire system of some guys that's kind of stood out offensively. I know pitching's a big thing, and pitching usually ties up a lot of our time here and ties up a lot of the time when I talk to the guys on NS9. And it's for obvious reasons, but I guess we have a good opportunity now to talk about some of the hitting guys. So who's someone this past week that's really kind of stood
Yeah,
out for you?
so I guess we could call it the memorial mix-up. I mean, obviously everyone's eyes have been on Henry Davis, so that one's kind of a given. I mean, he went down and he's destroying the ball, murdering it, and but obviously a name that was a pretty popular one a couple of years ago, Matt Gorski's really turning it around, and I think these numbers actually include today. I think they're updated on the MILB site, but he in the last 7 days, 7 games, he has a 1.230 OPS, and I think they noted because I was watching the game earlier this evening, Monday evening, and he hit a shot, and they said it was his 7th home run in 12 games. And I know I've been kind of even talking with like Connor on the side because we're ever since like spring training, we've been kind of talking about that weird leg kick he does, and that's where I started noticing it a couple weeks ago. It seems like it was a lot of his struggles were just since it was a brand new like timing mechanism for him. He was trying to get the timing down for it. And also a couple of weeks ago, it almost like it just clicked, and all of a sudden he's just skyrocketed since then. And he's not walking a lot, still some swing and miss, but his K percentage is dropping. He's hitting fastballs mid 90s, high 90s. He's hitting breakers. Again, there's still a little bit of swing and miss, but it's not like we were just saying, it's not like you blasted off on a position player and that was it. Like he's hitting everything right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been no stranger to these kind of stretches. I remember was in Greensboro a couple years ago. I think it was like he hit like 10 home runs in like a 1 week series or something, or like close to that. And
it was something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, it was just insane. But he's a guy that's like we've always been like he's one of those guys that like some other people don't like because like they'll look at like the strikeout rate and be like, well, okay, strikeout rate. He's an older dude, but he's someone that you and I have always talked about and have always like been very interested in just because we like the toolsy guys and like there's always been like so much raw power there and like you talk about his swing and it's like that like it's 100% him when he gets a hold of it. Because that swing can get like so funky and everything with it that it's all muscle that he's putting out. There's like no flow, no full body flow that's kind of like sending these balls over the park. It's all him kind of thing. So that's always impressive to see.
No, so yeah, because he's like what like I mean I guess I could click on it right here. What 6'4", like 220? I want to say.
Sorry.
Oh, not as big as 6'2". 198 it says. I thought he was bigger than that, but
yeah, no, he looks a lot more built than that. What is it? I saw him last year, and I sat in the front row behind home plate, and that is a massive huge, and it's all more spectacular, like because he's. I mean, like obviously the power things, everything that people like gravitate to, but like he can move. He's back-to-back 2020 seasons, and like he plays like a plus center field out there.
Yeah, and that's what we always said is, you don't, I mean, you would kind of hope maybe in best case scenario, it's more of like a 2023 Sawinski, obviously with less walks, but, you're probably going to get a high strikeout rate. Probably not a great batting average, but he's got a lot of pop. Plus he would play a plus center, plus arm, but they've been putting him at first base too. And that's obviously a position in itself.
Yeah. I feel like I still like looking at it, like even like, we've mentioned that like we're working on like our updated, like prospect rankings for the site. He still didn't make, he didn't like breaking news kind of, he didn't make my like top 30 on it. Like, I don't see, but like, he's also a guy who I can see, like if he, like we see him like right now, he gets hot for a couple of weeks and for a stretch and all that. Like he has the kind of tools and that kind of stuff to where I can still see a scenario where he comes up and in the majors and has this kind of stretch. Like long term, probably not. He's probably not like a fit in the majors just because of the strikeout kind of thing. but he's a guy that has all the kind of stuff that, like, if you catch him on the right week, like he can do some damage against some like really good pitchers, I feel like.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at someone like G1 Bay, who was crushing AAA, came up and he's struggling, get on base and everything. And the difference is that Gorski again would play a plus center field, whereas G1 Bays can time to time make rather easier catches, I guess. I don't know what I'm looking for, but he makes catches look tougher than they should be at times.
Yeah.
I think even Jim was tweeting about one the other day. There was like a 40% catch probability that he had to like dive for.
Yeah.
And then he put up one that was Michael A. Taylor, a 30% catch probability that he didn't even have to dive for.
Yeah. He's base still at that point to where it's kind of like it's 100% his speed and athleticism that gets him there. Yeah. Which, I mean, a lot of people can get by with that kind of thing, but yeah, he definitely makes the easy stuff look a lot harder.
Yeah, so. But even moving on from him, again, it's only I think 11 games now, but surprisingly, Matt Frazier's been holding his own so far in his first taste of AAA. I mean, 5 walks, 5 Ks. He's got a home run. He has an OPS over 1,000. I don't know what like the other like metrics are in terms of how bad a ball date and everything, but I was kind of surprised how well
he had one that he hit like 111 off the bat the other day. There. It's like I haven't looked at his stuff like too hard, but I remember putting like the rundown together one day and his name popped up at the top. I'm like, oh wow. Like obviously it's like he's never played it at an affiliate to where we've really been able to get that kind of data for on that. So like I mean he could have been doing it the whole time, but like that's like the first reading that kind of really jumped out on there. So he's hitting the ball hard. Makes you kind of wonder too, like he'd been in Altoona for so long and like he probably hadn't done much to warrant the push up, but like maybe there was some comfort or something that he got here and like a nice little push kind of reignited some of what he had there.
It was kind of making me wonder what's going on in the Eastern League AA because there's been kind of some like weird numbers down there, and I know it's been a very suppressed offensive environment. So, but I mean, even over the last week, Andres Alvarez, former 2020 guy. Him and Malcolm Nunez have OPSs over 1,000. So yeah, Indy's been teeing off.
Yeah, I mean it's good to see. Those are the guys that are knocking on the door to the majors, looking for that opportunity. So maybe
you know who else has an OPS over 1,000 in the last week?
Who?
Sammy Ciani over Hudson Head.
I mean, we haven't got to high A yet, which I don't think Head's OPS is that high anyways. I mean, you want to talk about Greensboro outfielders though right now. I don't think there's anyone who's taken advantage of Greensboro more than PJ Hilson.
Right.
Like this guy who's 23 years old, has never played, was drafted out of high school, had never played above single A, finally gets to high A. And he has like 6 or 7 home runs since he's been up there, all at First National Bank, all at home.
Yeah, guess what his OPS is over the last week?
What is it?
1.415. And just behind him, Nick Samillo, 1.336, and then Sean Ross, 1.256. Because all Sean Ross does is hit a home run or strike out.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, he hit 2 on Sunday, I think it was, on there. So Sean Ross, he's kind of set in really well as like the depth catcher, I guess, there at Greensboro. And he keeps launching balls like that. I think he'll be perfectly fine with just launching home runs there. But who is it? Yeah, Nick Samillo, I wrote about him the other day. He's really come on. Like he started the year on the development list and took a little bit to kind of get going. But now that he's going, he's just mashing baseballs left and right.
And yeah, not even striking out.
No, that's big step for him. He's a big guy, and like his swing looked like it was either like really long or like really slow when he first came up with like Bradenton, and like you just kind of looked at him like, man, like he's gonna hit some here, but like even high A is just gonna eat this guy alive. And it kind of happened a little bit last year.
Yeah,
but like he's made that adjustment so far, so it's good to see. Good to see, and I mentioned it on the show this morning with NS9. Like I know all the fans they're really desperate for their first base for some sort of first base prospect. So maybe he didn't have the best week, but he had a good enough week to. I made sure I kind of threw it out there just as like a teaser thing.
So, yeah, there you go. This is our first base prospect podcast. You know, Malcolm Nunez, Matt Gorski, Nick Samillo.
I mean, I guess there's a lot of guys down throughout there. I know Valdez and Eddie Rodriguez didn't have great weeks last week, but they're with watching them in the field, I would say that they're trending towards a first base profile as of right now. It hasn't been. You talk about making a 30% catch probability, or they make some very easy looking catches very difficult so far out there in the outfield. So.
Yeah, there's.
So anyone else so far to say? I got a paper where I started writing there. I took notes.
Oh, you took notes. Oh,
I took notes for the show yesterday, or for the show this morning, but it applies for both. All right,
there you
so
go.
Okay, who else had a good week?
I mean, batting average wise, not so much, but Solomon McGuire had a 973 OPS.
He is showing so much more power than I was kind of expecting from him. What is that? Like I think it's like 4 home runs he has on the season now.
I think so.
He's an interesting guy because he's still like baseball young, or like experience wise. He hasn't played much.
Yeah, no,
injuries obviously.
He has 238 career at bats. He just turned 21 in March, so
yeah. So he's right there. Like that would put him like on the tad older side for single A.
Yeah,
but like I mean,
which and then even in that same regards, Braylon Bishop has been kind of doing a little something lately.
I think with Bishop too, like. I guess for both of them, like the biggest thing right now is just like, please let them stay on the field. And what was it? McGuire looked like he had left the game early during last week too, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because what is it? Bishop came in all of a sudden. So that kind of was worrisome for a second, but he's another guy. Like. We're so adamant about like let's not get too excited about like lower level hitters, but there are a lot of lower level hitters that you kind of want to maybe get a little excited with. I think. Yeah. That like, I guess maybe they're just taking that. Let's throw a bunch against the wall and hope they stick. But there's enough now this time that you would think that maybe 1 or 2 of them should stick this time,
or at least you hope so. Yeah.
I mean, you never know, kind of thing with it. It could, always kind of expect the worst now at this point with it. But I mean, can we say that though? Because like, look what Nick Gonzalez is doing right now. Aren't they they fixed him, right?
I mean, as of right now, I mean everything he's doing. It's been a couple of weeks now, so, and he's answering the questions.
Yeah.
That we still had. So, I mean, as of right now, I'm buying.
Yeah. I mean, that would be huge. That'd be a big, just I think like an overall big win for like the system in general if they just get Nick Gonzalez going, kind of thing.
And especially when you think about the organization as a whole over the however many years with second base, middle infield, just in general, how many second basemen we've gone through. Just like, can we find one competent guy that can stick at second base? We've just been waiting.
Yep. And it'd be the first guy that they kind of set up to do that. The first draft pick of the Charrington era. So that'd be a huge step forward. And like you mentioned too, they start getting some of these hitter prospects to kind of take the right turn and stuff like that. And, people start picking up and stuff like that. More of the hitters should start getting a lot more recognition when it comes to the national kind of stuff too. Once they become like a more proven ground for developing those kind of players, they'll get the benefit of the doubt with certain people and all that. I guess one more person I kind of wanted to bring up on there, like dropping all the way down to the complex league real quick, and we'll move on to the next thing. I don't know whether maybe I just set the bar so incredibly low for him just because of the reports coming out of the Dominican. But like in the little bit that I've seen, I have been thoroughly impressed by what I've from Tony Blanco Jr. Like like I said, it could be a simple case of me setting the bar like really low, but like he's had some really good at bats. He hit his home run off a slider. He has a couple other hits off like breaking pitches. I don't know. Maybe there's the strikeout rate was really high, so like there's obviously something there, and people who saw him play like noted, hey, there's some swing and miss issues kind of stuff. But like it hasn't looked bad so far. And it's kind of shown and stuff. I don't know what his number. I don't know if you're able to pull up his numbers real quick, but they're not.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's considering everything that was talked about with him with regards to coming stateside. I mean, his walk rate's up from 10.8% to 13.3%, and his K rate went from 37.6%, and it's at 26.7%. And and a 471 batting average balls in play, which probably isn't too crazy considering how hard he hits the ball.
No, yeah, he's definitely some like what is it? That one game I was at, and we were talking during it. It was like just like a ground out to like second or something like that, and it was like 113 off the bat. And he barely made contact with it. It felt like.
Yeah, I think, and there was one. Yeah, he like nubbed it. To second base, and it was still 98 miles an hour. I was like, wait. Yeah. I was like, I don't think a ball should do that.
No. So like the power like there is like completely and utterly legit for him. If he's making better contact than like some of the reports were of him when he came stateside, then like we're talking like a whole different kind of prospect thing. He's still a first baseman. Like you could just look at him there and like he's not playing the outfield.
Hey, this is the first base prospect day.
Yes. Yeah. I guess I got to change the title now to it. So but yeah. But he's just someone that like at some point I know I wanted to mention because like it's just been completely different than what I expected so far from him.
Yeah, and I feel like getting him stateside and then with the coaches, it's probably you're probably just telling him like, look, you are a behemoth. You don't need to swing as hard as you need to. You need to just make contact, and the ball is going to pop off the bat. Yeah. Like if you just make contact, it's going 115 off the bat.
Yeah, that would be so fun just to see like him and Cruz going back and forth on batted balls and stuff like that. Just get those two in like a batting practice session together or something like that.
Yeah.
That would just be fun. So fun.
Well, that's he turned 13 days ago. As of this recording. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Okay. So some hitting stuff going on. And apparently turns out that they're all first basemen. That was completely unplanned. But it came together perfectly, I guess.
Yeah. The impromptu first base pod.
So, speaking of first base prospects, if we got some in the system now, that means we don't have to use a top 10 pick on them. Because top 10 pick, taking a first baseman in the top 10 almost never works out. So we wanted to go into this now, the College World Series, college tournament, college playoffs, whatever you call it, getting ready to kick off. Obviously, big thing with the Pirates, they'll have the 9th overall pick. It's something we've been kind of monitoring, like draft eligible players this year quite a bit. Who are some guys going into the tournament that you feel like that have piqued your interest? Maybe not necessarily at the 9th pick, but just like in general, like early on.
Well, I mean, first, if I know a name that, if we want to talk 1-9, outside of the usual prospects, usual suspects. I know Tibbs is gaining a lot of steam lately, and I've been seeing his name by a lot of people now. I know when we did our mock draft, I had considered slating him for the Pirates, but I was, he was still ranked in like the 20s. I was like, it might be too big of a jump. But going past that, some guys I know, being that you're a pitcher guy, and me living in New Orleans, I really liked what I saw from Luke Holman and Gage Jump. And you got one guy on the right side, one guy left side. I think the metrics generally fare out pretty well with both of them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for a second, third pick, I think those are two great guys to look at. And then Peyton Tolley for TCU, that kid is a horse, man. I think I could see him moving up. That kid is a horse. He's huge, and he's awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of leaning more toward so for me personally, like the idea of taking someone who's like limited to first base, like right off the bat, just doesn't really sound appealing to me on there. I know, I mean, like even someone like Nick Kurtz, who was one of the top rated guys there on it, and like he's a really good player, but just someone who's just limited in that aspect to like, if there are still questions about the Pirates' ability to develop hitters and make sure that they reach their full potential, taking someone who is his only contribution is going to be playing first base. Like if you have a first baseman that can't hit, like, I mean, we've seen that this year with the major league team. Like
right.
It becomes like a black hole of a position kind of thing. And then I think like the next guy there would be like a Jack Caglione, which like the chase rate, like translating to the next level, would kind of worry me. There's part of me that believes that like if he focuses only on hitting, maybe that'll kind of help him shore that up. But like right now, like I'm going to be watching as much Florida State as I can, because like I'm a big James Tibbs guy. I'm anyone that's named Cam, apparently, that like I think the Pirates should draft immediately. So Cam Smith is still a guy that I'm really high on the draft. I feel like he's someone that like with his arm and stuff like that, like maybe if you want to get cute, you could slap him in right field or something like that.
I mean, we had to warm you up a little bit on Tibbs.
Yeah. It took a second too. I saw the they're talking about like probably ends up at first base thing, so that kind of worked. But then like the more I saw of him, the more I kind of looked into it and all that. Like I started to buy in a lot more. Of course, if there's like a pitcher there, like I think one guy I'll be watching will be like Trey Savage, to see like health wise how he's doing, to see if he actually pitches and stuff like that.
Right.
Because with like the collapsed lung and stuff like that, it'll be interesting if he gets in games and all that. I guess that could scare some teams around and stuff like that. I don't know how far that'll drop him. But you mentioned Luke Holman, and like I think I can't remember which website that was, but like he was mocked to the Pirates at one point with like the comp pick, and like I think we both felt like if things landed that way, that would be like the perfect first two picks. I think it was the one where it had like Weatherholt. It was like Weatherholt and Holman or something like that.
No, I think it was the one that I want to say it was Montgomery and Holman, and we were like,
yeah,
perfect,
Montgomery and Holman.
perfect.
Like, yeah, it was like sign me up for that like all day.
Yeah.
But like for me specifically, I'll be looking for like a pitchers that maybe they could take with like the comp pick or like the second round pick or something like that. They've had they've gone with like Hunter Barco and Thomas Harrington. They've gotten some guys around that area. I don't know if I have any specific names yet, but obviously look for pitching. You can never have enough pitching. I like Tibbs, probably there. I don't know. He's starting to feel like that's someone like the Angels might like jump up and snag right before the Pirates take. Like they're going to take him, and then like he'll be their starting left fielder by September.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm. What are the teams? Was it Rockies, Angels, Royals, and A's? Yeah. It's like those are the four that could really shake up a draft.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it could get really interesting with that. I know. Did Coastal Carolina make the tournament? I don't know if you have it pulled up.
Oh man, I know I had it pulled up somewhere. I'd have to look again. Let me see.
I had notes, but I did not have notes for this one.
I think I pulled up on my phone, and then I don't know where I put my phone.
Well, I was going to bring up.
No, yeah, they made it. Coastal make it.
Coastal made it. I guess one guy to watch that we kind of. I think it was. I don't think the numbers were correct on here, what they said, but what was it? His name was
Meckley or Meckley.
Meckley. I have to. Yeah, Alexander Meckley. He was a transfer student. Like we saw, it was like on Twitter. And what did it say? He had like a 25, 26 inch induced vertical break on one of the fastballs or something like that.
Yeah, it was like the Coastal Carolina metric Twitter account that he had like a 97 mile an hour fastball with a 26 IVB, and we're like,
And it's like, that can't be. There's no way that's right. Yeah. And so like, obviously someone says that, and that catches our attention. So I went and watched him, and like he's not a guy that you're going to take with like a high pick, but someone like middle, like a 5th, 6th round pick or something like that with that kind of fastball. It's whether it's 26 or not, like it's probably up there with it. And watching it, you could see it had some good life up in the zone and stuff like that.
Right.
That feels like something that the Pirates would go after at this point. They love their guys with the fastball life up in the zone with the high induced vert. So he's a guy that I'll kind of be seeing. I'm not sure how the rest of his season kind of unfolded and stuff like that, but I feel like he could be a guy that the Pirates could target just because it just kind of the mold fits kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's what another, because obviously I watch them quite a bit, but I know we talked about him in the past. Thatcher Hurd, he doesn't so much have the arm slot that they've sought lately, but he's kind of that mold of bigger stuff. At one point was a starter, but just couldn't like keep things going, and eventually got moved to the bullpen. But I mean, there are times where I think even last year's College World Series, like there was a point where he was just unhittable. Where mid 90s, 95, 96, and just a devastating curveball. And I think I saw him throw some sliders the other day too, like so two pretty solid breakers on top of. He just couldn't place the fastball anywhere. So he even seems like a perfect. They love SEC pitchers, so
SEC pitchers that have trouble staying in the rotation.
Yeah,
because of control issues. That is, outside of Paul Skeens, but they love their SEC pitchers, and there was a time to where he seemed like, especially at the beginning of the season, he seemed like he was a shoo-in for a first round, to be a first round pick, and things happen and whatnot. So he could be another guy too that you might be able to buy low on, and Pirates pitching factory gets to work and kind of gets them back to what he was kind of expected, because like he was a guy that was like really highly touted out of high school too. Like they thought he could have gone super high without, like he started at UCLA. So
I don't think they made it. So there was another guy that was actually. I wish I had gotten. I didn't get any velo readings on him, but there was Merritt Beaker, a left-handed pitcher out of Ball State. He was actually kind of interesting, and he, the arm slot, whole thing. He transferred to Ball State. I think it was from East Carolina, ECU. He was actually pretty intriguing. Obviously, MAC, lower level, but lower conference, but he was kind of interesting. And then, outside of pitchers, Anthony Silva for TCU, Michael Braswell, LSU, a couple shortstops. I thought they could be pretty interesting. Probably late day two guys. I know Silva was higher thought of earlier in the year, and then kind of fell down lists. Last I looked, he was, let's see, the last updated rankings I have was he's about 93rd overall between 3 different lists.
Okay.
So I'd probably put him about a 3rd, 4th round pick. But he made some plays for TCU. He went up and got a ball. That was just like, damn. So
I feel like this year there's a couple, maybe not high upside shortstops, but like if you want like a college shortstop that's gonna play shortstop, there are a couple guys that you can probably get like early middle 10 round kind of thing. Like I'm a lot of times I like my like ACC, UVA, Virginia kind of guy. Griff O'Farrell. He's a really solid shortstop. He's going to play short and all that.
Right.
I think I brought him up one time on the website, and someone immediately just called him Kevin Newman 2.0. I think that kind of shut a lot of that talk down. But like he's always been a guy that just work harder. High effort kind of guys on the field and he's going to play shortstop kind of thing too for it. So I know we've seen I know everyone wants O'Neal Cruz to stick at shortstop, but like he's at double-digit errors right now. So maybe you start exploring other options, kind of thing.
Yeah, he's right now. He's kind of at shortstop just because who else are you going to play there, kind of deal.
Yeah. I think that'll kind of be a fun conversation that they're going to have and stuff like that. That they're going to have at some point, because I know they pushed it for a little bit and then they abandoned it because I guess he wasn't responding well to it. But almost keeping with the theme of first baseman, what are your thoughts on Tommy White? Like as like a not with the first pick anymore, but like if he's there around like the comp / second round pick, like how do you feel about his game translating to the next level right now? Or is there anything that you can see?
I'd be all for it. I'd be all for it. I mean, the dude. I mean, they talk about a little bit of swing and miss. He gets a little, swing happy, trying to murder baseballs. Granted, they're probably a little biased, the announcers during the games, but I even have to say so myself. He's made some plays at third base that I would not have expected him to make. It isn't like when which one, the 21 draft, when LSU was really trying to make Jacob Berry a third baseman, and it was tough watching him attempt third base, let alone first base. I mean, it got to the point where it was so bad that even though he was like a top 3, top 5 player, they made him a DH strictly. Like they were like, no, Trey Morgan, even though you're a sophomore, you're the first baseman, or he might even been a freshman at the time. They had him play first base because Barry couldn't, but No, Tommy White has actually been surprising at third base. I don't know if it's something he would stick at long term. But second pick, I'd be all for it. I
think, yeah, and I think I don't know about like Tommy White in general, but like if they want to go after someone who profiles as like specifically as a first baseman, and I'm sure if they took him with like the comp pick or like the second round pick, they'll probably let him try third base. Like
if they're letting Malcolm Nunez play third base in Indy, they'll let Tommy White play third base.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll still see him at third, but we'll probably get we'll learn quickly if it's going to stick or not. But like those kind of profiles, I want to see later in the draft getting taken. I don't want to see that with the top 10 pick. Like at that point, if you're looking at someone like who is going to have to come up to the majors and only hit, I would rather roll my dice on someone like Vance Honeycutt than someone who's just going to strictly be limited to like a first base / DH thing. Because Honeycutt at best he might be like a gold. At worst, he's still going to be like a Gold Glove center fielder kind of thing.
Right. I mean, and plus at that point, second, third pick, I might even just go Blake Burke from Tennessee, who's a beast himself. So
yeah. Okay. Well, yep. So a lot of fun stuff. I like this time of year. I love like the College World Series and stuff like that. And depending on my plans for the weekend, if they're tickets that aren't crazy. If the tickets aren't crazy expensive, maybe I'm only like 30 minutes away from Charlottesville. Maybe I'll ride out there and catch a couple of the games and whatnot. But okay. So finally, for the last segment, as we wrap this up, we're gonna run through the weekly preview real quick. You got that pulled up?
All right. Yeah. And I mean, I guess since we rabbled on a little long, probably. We could probably make this one a little quick, just because it should probably be a quick one. It just as it is. Indianapolis, they had a 3-3 week. They're playing Omaha Storm Chasers, Royals farm system. They actually kicked off today for Memorial Day. They won 11-3. They stomped them. I think I turned the game on in the third inning and it was already 9-0. Tyler Gentry, 9th overall, is the top prospect on that team. But Altoona is where the fun's going to be at this week. It's going to be popping. Altoona's coming off a 4-2 week, so they had a big week, winning 4 games. They're 14-31 now, but they're going against the Portland Sea Dogs, Boston Red Sox AA team. We got their number 1 prospect, Marcelo Meyer. Everyone should know that name real well. Roman Anthony, their number 2 prospect. Their number 3 prospect, Kyle Teal, a personal favorite of Murphy. Their number 5 prospect, Wilkeman Gonzalez. Their number 6 prospect, Nick Yorkie, who was a former first-round pick. And then on top of that, for people that follow this list on a weekly basis, Luis Perales recently got promoted. That rings a bell. It's because he just threw 5 shutout innings with 12 strikeouts against the Grasshoppers. And I think the time he faced the previous outing against the Grasshoppers was 4 innings, 1 unearned run, and 7 Ks. So hopefully Altoona can get revenge against him this week. The Grasshoppers are playing Asheville. We were just discussing pre-show. We're not sure if they have a stream or not.
Doesn't look like it. Like you can scroll ahead on like the TV portion of the MILB app, and the game isn't listed for tomorrow. So yeah.
Well, it should be a big week for offense because Asheville has the number 1 offense in OPS, but the 11th out of 12 in team ERA. Their top prospect is Luis Baez. He's their 2nd overall prospect on Pipeline. 2022 international free agent of the Dominican Republic. I think they said it was $1.3 million, if I recall correctly. 20-year-old, 802 OPS so far this year. But there's only 3 of their 4 top 30 prospects, Baez being the top one. Astros only have 1 top 100 prospect as it is. Then we get down to Bradenton, Fort Myers, Mighty Muscles Twins affiliate. They recently played them about a month ago, I think. You got Charlie Soto and Brandon Winokur, 2 prep 2023 draft picks. That team itself only has 4 of the Twins' top 30 with 1 on the IL, so only 3 healthy top 30 prospects.
Walker Jenkins is the guy on IL, right?
Yeah, which he's been
rehab. I think was it the Twins that they played today in the complex? I'm pretty sure, or it was either today or Saturday. But he's rehabbing with them, and he's been rehabbing for almost a week down there. So they may catch probable. Yeah, there is a chance that he ends up playing back with Fort Myers this week. So
that would be a big boost. Because as of right now, if opposing prospects is your thing, unfortunately, right now it's looking like AA is the spot to go, and I guess we'll have to see. I know Solomato came out of the pen the other day.
He pitched an inning.
Yeah, and then Bubba's on the IL. They've been.
I think I saw somewhere that he threw like a bullpen session late last week, so. I wasn't able to find anyone else to like confirm it or stuff like that, but that would be huge to get him back. It'd be a good with the hitters that they have on Portland. This could be a good test for the pitching staff. I think Sean Sullivan should get the double start this week, so he'll start twice. So he should be kicking things off on Tuesday I guess when people are listening.
Him and Ashcraft should get promoted, but that's another story.
Yeah. That's for another day.
Yeah. But so I'm looking right now. They did play today, and he's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games with the FCL team. So it's possible Jenkins gets bumped up. So that'd be cool.
That would be cool. He looks like he's going to be if he could as long as he stays healthy. So really, really good. But be an interesting week. AA definitely might not be pretty, but probably definitely the series to kind of tune into this week kind of thing. I think it's funny that Luis Perales dominated the Pirates high A team, and now he gets to go out and face the AA team.
Right.
So funny how that works out with it. But
he gets to go against Seth Beer.
I mean, the dude's mashing, and this show's all about first baseman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's another first baseman.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that will pretty much do it for the show today. Want to thank everyone for tuning in. Nola, for those who aren't watching the video feed to see your Twitter handle there, you want to go over your socials real quick?
At Nola Jeffy, NOLAJEFFY.
And you crossed like 400 followers not too long ago. We need to get now we got to start chipping away to 500.
It might be a minute, but we'll see.
We'll get that. We'll get you there. But as always, follow me on Twitter at @_Murphy88. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. I'll have to start putting the link in the bio of the episodes and whatnot there. Been uploading videos slowly for my trip down in Florida. I have a whole stack of them still to go through. I'm trying to get them all off my phone. Subscribe to the website, Bucks on Deck, Substack. I got a couple features. I got one on Esmeralyn Valdez, and I think I'm going to do another one on Michael Kennedy. I have another story on Michael Kennedy I want to run. So, subscribe, get access to that. Subscribe. You also get access to our updated top 25 prospect rankings, my video breakdowns when I do those. So lots of fun stuff. Subscribe, and we will see you guys next week.
All right.
Peace.